If your thoughts were the seeds of your next chapter, what kind of garden are you growing? Welcome to The Cards Made Me Do It, your gateway to the mystical realm of cardology. I'm Ayafa, here to explore how this esoteric science intertwines astrology, numerology, and the wisdom of the cards. Join me as we navigate life's mysteries through the lens of lunar cycles and celestial energies, unlocking insights that guide our path. Before we begin, I want to remind you that this podcast is a space for exploring deep, thought-provoking, and sometimes taboo topics. The goal is always to foster awareness, growth, and meaningful conversation, not to judge or harm. While I share insights from my experience as a human, certified cardologist, energy healer, and spiritual guide, this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice in legal, mental health, or medical matters. This is a brave space. If at any point you need to pause, reflect, or take a break, please honor that. Some content may challenge your perspective, and that's okay. We're here to explore, uncover, and evolve together. Alafia, and welcome back to The Cards Made Me Do It. I'm Ayafa, aka Queen Daddy Saturn, and today we're diving into the Taurus new moon falling on a Seven of Clubs day. If you felt the pressure rising or found your thoughts swirling louder than usual, you're not alone. This lunation isn't just about planting seeds, it's about asking what thoughts, beliefs, and values are shaping the ground you're planting them in. And with this card showing up again, after my last viral post on a Seven of Clubs day, no less, you already know there's something deeper in the air. So, a quick breakdown of the Taurus energy. Remember, Taurus is fixed earth, ruled by Venus, values rooted in stability, sensuality, material comfort, embodiment, and voice, because Taurus rules the throat. It has to deal with your body, your voice, food, finances, self-worth, ownership, long-term goals. And the shadow of it can be stubbornness, hoarding, possessiveness, or overindulgence. Sorry if y'all heard those sirens in the background. And the energetics of a Seven of Clubs day energy breakdown is mental discipline, positive affirmations, and sometimes imposter syndrome. The key words are genius, prayer, faith, mantras, doubt, self sabotage, gossip, divine inspiration, and truth telling. Its placement in the spirit spread is Mars Uranus, and in the life spread, it is Saturn Uranus. So it's about manifestation through disciplined thought and rebellious truth telling. Other planetary transits that we're dealing with are Mars opposing Pluto the day before the new moon, which is pressure cooker energy. Do you really believe in what you say you want? So that's right on time. The new moon enters Taurus at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so you may want to mark this lunation with some form of a grounding ritual. And here are some of my suggestions of things to work with. So some herbs that you can sip or soak with would be holy basil for mental clarity and calming the nervous system, peppermint for clarity and breath, rose for Venusian heart softening, gotu kola for mental alertness. Crystals to work with could be lapis lazuli for truth telling and throat chakra alignment, black tourmaline for grounding and mental protection, Amazonite to soothe the nervous system and amplify truth and communication, or pyrite for mental focus and disciplined manifestation. You can also use a mirror and a candle during your ritual if you want to do an affirmation or speak aloud to reinforce your beliefs. You could also work with the actual Seven of Clubs card itself. Remember to snuff your candle when complete or allow it to safely burn out. And so, following this energetic breakdown, you can stay tuned for the collective card pulls by suit. You can choose based on your birth card, your name card, or simply the suit that calls to you the most right now. And if you're not staying for the collective reads, then feel free to come back later and listen in when you're ready. And remember, if this resonated and you're craving deeper clarity, connection, or confirmation, appointments are always open at queendaddysaturn.com. If you're staying for the collective card pulls, tap the timestamp that aligns with your chosen suit or keep listening to hear all 4 collective reads. Let's get into it. So, the questions we're asking in this spread related to this Taurus new moon on the 7 of Clubs day is: what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my current reality? Where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? What innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me now? What is the hidden value or truth I've been underestimating within myself? What internal structure or boundary needs to shift so I can think more freely? How can I physically anchor this mental or spiritual shift into my body and life? And what crystal energy is supporting my integration and embodiment of this new paradigm? Hello and welcome. This part of the reading is for the Hearts Collective. And I'm going to pull your cards first and then I'll give you my insights from the reading. Today we are doing a 4-question card pull with the regular playing deck, and then I'll pull from 3 oracle decks. And so the first question we're asking is: what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my current reality? And this is for the collective of the hearts. The second question is: where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? Question 3 is: what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me now? And number 4 is: what internal structure or boundary needs to shift so that I can think more freely? So, I believe this is the second moon or lunar transit we've had on the 7 of Clubs day. And this time it's in the sign of values, that Venetian energy that the Taurus has. Signs of values. We've had a few values because I believe the last one was on a 9 of diamonds day. And so I like to pull pop outs, or not pull. I like for pop outs to come about. So that way I feel like we're truly connecting with spirit and getting whatever spirit wants us to know out and about. Sometimes this can take a little bit of time. So just bear with me. But have faith that whatever you need to receive will come through. Okay. I'm waiting for a second one. The first card we got is the 5 of diamonds. And so asking what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my reality. This is actually the card I'm displacing today. And I did read for myself so that my energy didn't get tainted, but it can be a highly emotional card. Like who was that? Vivian Green, that emotional roller coaster card. And when I get pop outs like that, I pick the top card and we move on with our lives. So you might be on an emotional roller coaster, and being of the Hearts Collective, I could see that. You might be going through a lot of changes. The card, the fives period have to do with changes, but it could be, if you're dealing with the diamonds, could be changes in your money, changes in business, work, home things. Home, of course, affects business and money when there are changes. You might be washing these damn what is it? Stocks and stuff. You might have some stocks that might be making you feel stressed out with all the things that are going on in the world right now. So, yeah, that's definitely shaping your reality. The second question is, where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? And you got the wordsmith card, the Jack of Clubs. And that has to do with speaking your truth with authority, standing on business. Which is funny because if I go back to the first card, the Five of Diamonds, that transformation card is the Six of Clubs, which is the card of the messenger. And so, my bad if that reverberated or something. So maybe you need to ground yourself so that you can speak what needs to be spoken in order for you to get the changes that you see, and the changes that you want and see. Because the karma cards I didn't discuss the karma cards of the Five of Diamonds, but those karma cards are the Nine of Diamonds, which I discussed a little bit, universal values, and then that Three of Clubs, which has to do with creativity. And it does have to do with creativity and writing and thoughts because it is a clubs. And so leading into the wordsmith, those karma cards are the Ten of Hearts. Tens always have to do with people, and it's also the Jack of Diamonds karma card. So speaking your truth so that your money, or whatever it is that's currently on your mind or is the biggest forefront of your reality, making sure you're standing on business with it so you have no regrets. And so number three is what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me now? And so you have the Jack of Spades, two jacks, which is the spiritual initiate card. And, when people hear of spiritual initiation, they automatically think that, well, some people, let me not say that, but some people tend to think it has to be some type of ritualistic thing. And your entire life is a spiritual initiation. Everything you do, you are constantly tested. A test is an initiation. Did you learn a lesson? There are going to be cycles that you find yourself repeating, especially if you don't catch these cycles, but you tend to wonder, like, why in the hell does this keep happening to me? And so with that, whatever you're going through right now is a test of sorts. So just make sure you pass it. It can also be the beginning of a new lifestyle, especially if you pass the spiritual initiation. It could also have to do with odd jobs, especially since we're talking about money. Did we talk about money? Don't pay me any attention if we didn't. But we did talk about money because roller coaster finances and that Five of Diamonds. So maybe you're wanting to take on maybe it's a new job. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to make passive income. Maybe you're being tested in ways of that. And I say that because it kind of hits home. So like, for example, I'm a nail tech of 20 years, right? And 20 years is retirement for me. I have ventured into, of course, Spirit wanted me to put myself out there with my spiritual light working based things, but I also feel a need personally to be grounded in the mundane. So I am actually I'm a licensed nail tech on top of the fact that I'm a licensed life insurance producer. Shameless plug. If you need life insurance, I don't care really where you are. I can find somebody to hook you up with, even if it's not myself. You can reach out to me via my website. But like I did that so that I could also, not be lost in the stars and in the ethers all the time. I did that because I need something to ground me into reality. And I also know that I'm coming up on retirement from a career that I've had for 20 years. So that could be a bit of an initiation that you're going through. These big decks, honey. Something else. All right. And so number 4 asks, which internal structure or boundary needs to shift so I can think more freely? And funnily enough, I happen to talk about insurance, and you got the 6 of diamonds, which is actually the card of insurance, but it's also the card of retirement and the card of karmic settlement. I know I've talked to a few of my clients recently, and they're talking about retirement, especially my government sector people. I know of one who recently was able to go ahead and make the bid to go ahead and get out of there. So that might be something. Um, Maybe you're being asked to slow down. Lord of mercy, we're not picking all of these, but I'm gonna pick the one that stands out to me most. Ashe. Thank you. So with that, with the 6 of diamonds, I normally try to pick it up for y'all. With the 6 of diamonds, what also comes to mind is, a releasing of debt because something needs to shift so you can be free. Maybe you need to come up with a strategic plan to maybe get yourself out of debt, maybe come up with a strategy in order for you to set up retirement before you can really go into retirement. Maybe you need to sit down with someone outside of yourself and figure out what steps you need to take in order to help yourself with these things. Um, with the insurance company I work through, we do have financial advisors and stuff like that too. I am not one at present, but it's plenty of resources out there. If you feel like you can't afford certain things, check your local library. A lot of the times they have different things to help. They have different resources that most people don't even know about. So always check your local library if you're looking for some extra resources. So when we get into the Oracle decks, the first question I asked, and we're using the African Goddess Rising or Magic, the African Goddess Rising deck. So can you see that? She's beautiful. And so with some of these Oracle decks, I do read from the book because I want to make sure, I'm telling you what needs to be told. So we asked, what is the hidden value or truth I've been underestimating within myself? And I have I heard of gang gang? It's probably, I might be pronouncing this wrong. Gang gang Sarah, uh, which the word under her is resistance. It's card number 22, which reduces to a 4. That might have to do with your roots and your ancestors, your family. I also see Saturn up in here. I don't know if you can see that. I see Saturn up in here. And did they say that Jupiter technically has rings? It's like another planet over here with 2 rings, but maybe that's like a spiritual realm type of thing. And so what she's giving me, she's holding, interesting, resistance, balance. She's asking for balance. And so we have her with a rising cloud and then a raining cloud, a rising star, a falling star, a sun, and a moon. And so balance, duality, and all things like that come to mind. She is wrapped within like the roots of these trees. She's trying to balance a lot because she has 6 arms. So let's get into what the book has to say. Gang Sarai. And that's funny. She's on page 44 in this book. Okay. Gang Sarai, Shadow of Resistance, is of Tobago. Never knew that. Never knew they had a pantheon. And the temple is of shadows. The element is of bush. And so, shadow goddess Gang Sarai, the witch of Golden Lane, blew into Tobago on a determined breeze from West Africa to emancipate her family. Gang Sarai, shadow guidance. You are scared that you are going to mess it all up. You may have stumbled, but this is a new day. Learn to show up for yourself. The embodiment is you ghost your own dreams and resist your own magic. Stop holding back, worrying, and pretending to seek perfection that will never come. When it comes to you stepping into your greatness, resistance keeps you stuck. Resistance blocks growth, creativity, and evolution. Resistance may look like procrastination, laziness, disorganization, excuses, or lack of motivation, but there are deeper forces at play. You are resisting the force you really are. And this goddess's declaration is, "This is me. I show up." That was dope. Dang. All right. So, how can I physically anchor this mental or spiritual shift into my body and life? And you got hibiscus, which is the card of joy. It's a 14, which reduces to a 5, which always has to do with, which can have to do with freedom, having freedom, changing the change of things, and maybe in order to shift into freedom. This is so pretty. And it even has a hummingbird, and I see it has Venus and I believe Pluto, if I'm looking at it correctly, because now I'm looking at it upside down. But we're gonna read from the book on this. But I think you need to find freedom in order to reconnect with joy in your life. So that's the main thing I'm getting: freedom, joy. And then maybe connecting with your spirit guides more, because, or your higher self, because it's she's multifaceted there. And also know that there's no problem being multifaceted. One thing I used to always be told, and I realized it was a test to myself, is that whenever I wanted to study something new, some one or two people would always have to say, "You need to worry about being a jack of all trades." And if I'm not mistaken, the entire quote really goes. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna look it up for us because I don't like being wrong. So give me a moment. I always have my devices open just in case. So one moment, bear with me. So the full quote goes: "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one." And that's because they have fully decided to experience things, even if they don't stick with everything, just, to make sure that they've tested what's really out there for them. And so, if don't be afraid to shift into some, don't be afraid of what people will think if you shift into other things as well. So, yeah, that's what comes to mind. Oh, and so let me get into the book. That would be helpful, right? And so, hibiscus joy. I'm just going to skip straight to the guidance for the sake of time. But in the upright, I like to read both because I don't necessarily pay attention to uprights and reversals. So I'll read the light and the shadow. So the light of this would be nectar, grace, sensuality, beauty, divine feminine, nurturing, creativity, abundance. And the shadow of it would be sadness, insecurity, unhappiness, unworthiness, lack of pleasure, self-doubt. And the astrological rulers are Venus and Pluto. So The guidance of hibiscus says, like hibiscus, you emanate the essence of Venusian grace. You hold and cradle life. You are the nurturer. Your presence brings renewal and joy to others. Express your creativity to keep attracting this colorful energy back to you. Like the hummingbird, you are a creature of nectar, a conduit of divine love and joy. Reversed or shadow, hummingbird may represent the inability to see the many blessings you've been given. Don't shy away from your power. You are worthy of it all. Follow the dance of the hummingbird, journey into your sadness, and know that this pain is just a thread within the fabric of joy. So that's pretty dope as well. And so I have a shit ton of crystals. And so I found this crystal deck that's pretty cool. And I think I want to start doing crystal companions every time I do this, because why not? Crystals are dope. And it's so funny because the Hearts Collective got a heart chakra, because it also relates to the chakras too. And this is actually the heart chakra, and this is the newest crystal I bought, which was this dope ass chrysoprase. It's really cool, really dope. But I really love this crystal. And so I'm gonna hold it a bit because it makes me happy. But it's a heart chakra crystal. I actually love using this crystal on my self-love grid, which I haven't put the grids up on the website yet. I promise you I will. But it's one of my favorite grids to do because the first part is acceptance of self. It's always acceptance of self. But chrysoprase can also be used for prosperity. And the physical qualities align the heart chakra energy with the solar plexus and throat chakras, which brings vitality, counteracts exhaustion, aids in general detox, soothes digestive issues, stimulates the liver, and helps filter blood and regulate pulse, strengthens the muscles of the heart as well. The emotional qualities brings an overall sense of well-being, good fortune, success, and prosperity. It supports emotional calm and balance, instills love, joy, hope, and nurturing. It relieves anxiety, and it boosts tolerance and self-esteem. The affirmation the card has with it is I am prosperous. And another thing that I tend to know about this crystal is that it also garners the self acceptance for you to also be able to speak what is truly on your mind. And a lot of people hold back because they fear what others might think of them when it comes to them saying something. And I feel like you really need to get this because you especially got the Jack of Clubs, which is the wordsmith, and the spiritual initiation card, which is the Jack of Spades. So, I would recommend, if you can't get the crystal, you can always pull up a photo of the crystal and like meditate with it if you don't have the option to purchase it. But a journal question I want you to sit with is, if my thoughts shaped a garden, what would be thriving and what would need pruning? So, Hearts Collective, if this resonated and you're craving deeper clarity, connection, or confirmation, readings are always open at queendaddysaturn.com. And whether you're walking through change or anchoring your truth, I'm here when you're ready. Remember to stay rooted, stay crowned, and keep trusting your guides and the cards. I'm Ayafa, and this has been The Cards Made Me Do It. Thank you so much. Alafia and welcome. This is for my Clubs Collective, and I'm going to try my best to get most of the cards, but y'all know I do the pop out method. And so sometimes they be working with me, sometimes they don't, but whatever. So the first four questions are going to be from the regular playing deck, and we're asking, and we're not accepting that. We want the cards to pop on the table, but sometimes they'll be smart and give me a stack. So thank y'all for the guidance that you're going to give. So the first question we're asking is, what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my current reality? Number two is, where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? Number three is what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me right now? I'm going to take this. Number 4 is what internal structure or boundary needs to shift so I can think more freely? Okay, we won't take them. We just need one more card. Thanks. I write on my cards if y'all didn't already know that, because who has the time to remember all this stuff? No, I remember stuff, but I like triggers from my intuition. So while we're answering that question, what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my reality? And the first word I actually see is not what the card really represents. So you got the 10 of diamonds, but the first word that caught my attention is angels. So maybe, you're getting whispers, images, guidance. I know I'm getting heavy guidance in my dreams. I'm a 6 of clubs, if you didn't know, but I did read for myself before I did for the collective, because I did not want to taint anybody's readings. So, but I have been having like heavy, vivid dreams. One last night even had to do, I'm not going to tell you the whole dream because but it had to do with being prepared and confirmation of spirit to know, like, yeah, you're receiving this guidance. Yes, you're in tune. And so now that we know that you're fully paying attention, to be prepared. What are we doing? What are we doing? We can't use all of these. I'm going to use the one that fell into place where I would put this. And we going to keep it moving past that. Thank you so much. So maybe it's connection with your angels, working on things that spirit is nudging you to work towards. It's also the master of marketing card. So maybe you're trying to get attention for something that it is that you're doing. And so, just make sure you ground yourself and connect with your spirit guides in order to, fully get the nudges that you're doing too. And it's also the card of wishes and abundance. We're not accepting that. We need a clear stack or one to pop out on the table, please. Thank y'all so much. So, where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward for the club's collective? You got the 9 of spades, which I am going to tell you that I would want you to watch out for your health. So maybe your health needs to maybe you need to pay attention to your health before you try to jump into something that's really exerting, or pay attention to your health, period, because your health is your wealth, first and foremost. So that's the first thing. It could also be a release in order for you to graduate to the next steps. What do you need to release? I know that's a lot of things. That's really full moon stuff, but sometimes we need to release things in order to bring in new stuff. And a lot of times when we release things, it's showing that we trust the universe enough to provide. So maybe you're being asked that, especially since your angels are heavily working with you. And it's also about completion of work and projects. So, which, it's funny, the 9 of spades transformation card is that 10 of diamonds. So, and then getting back to the transformation card of the 10 of diamonds is the Jack of clubs, which is the wordsmith. And so you want to be mindful. All right, we're going to accept the next flop over y'all because I feel like they mad at me for they being petty with me. But with this being a 7 of clubs, which I hope you listen to the beforehand of this, because I give a rundown of the cards and the lunar transit. And definitely being mindful of your words, connected with your wishes and whatnot. So our third question moving forward is, what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me now? Excuse me, releasing that energy. You got the Queen of Spades, which I call her the HBIC. If you don't know what that is, Google it. But she is the judge, she is the witch, she is the high priestess. She is alchemy and embodiment. So, where can you, ooh, and you got that. Yep, that's an alignment. So, maybe you need to embody that more so. She's also the card of self mastery. So, maybe you need to embody that. She also likes to do shadow work, and shadow work ultimately is getting you back in touch with your inner child. So if you don't like the term shadow work, do some inner child work. If you need help with that, you can always book a consultation with me. Well, nice. So, oh, nice. I didn't even realize that came out too. Okay, so what internal structure or boundary needs to shift so I can think more freely? And you actually did get the graduation card. And you got the graduation card. So it's about releasing. It could also be the card of attainment or disappointment in your beliefs. It could be, hopefully it's not about family drama, but it could be about family drama. So maybe something with the family dynamic, if that is something that's going on for you. Because remember, I'm pulling for the collective, or I'm reading for the collective, so everything may not resonate with everyone. But maybe you have some family drama that needs to come to a head, and maybe that's where the HBIC is asking you to step up and dead whatever the hell that is that's going on, because it's not serving anybody. So maybe that's what needs to happen. So yeah. So we'll move on to our oracle cards, and I'm using the African Goddess Rising deck, the Herbal Astrology Oracle, and then this crystal deck that's also tied to chakras. And first question I asked with the African Goddess deck is, what is the hidden value or truth I've been underestimating within myself? And so you got, please forgive me if I pronounce her wrong, Urzuli Dantor, and it says etheric chords. I want you to see that. It's really beautiful. And please note that you don't have to be of any particular, is it a glare on that? Sorry if it is. You don't have to be of any particular race, religion, or anything to receive these messages, or you don't have to be a female, male. You can be whoever the hell it is you are. The message is just what the message is. And it says something about etheric chords. So maybe some cord cuttings. Maybe you're underestimating. I've had to do some cord cuttings. So let's just get into this book, because I don't truly know. So what that's going to tell you. But maybe some cord cuttings really need to be done, because a lot of times, and cord cutting doesn't just have to be with people. Cord cutting can also be with situations that no longer serve you. Maybe there's overindulgence in some things that needs to be cut away. If you are a person that can work with energetic things and like to do rituals for yourself, hell, I think that every day that every day that you care for yourself should be like a ritual. You are the ritual. But if you are really good with rituals, if rituals help you to pull down from the spiritual realm and help to transmute those things into the mundane or earth realm, You could do some form of a cord cutting to help rid yourself of whatever it is that's no longer serving you for your highest, most exalted good. So, Urzuli Dantor asks us, let me see, and that's a 27, which is another 9, completion / graduation. And I forgot what page number was, but she is the goddess of etheric chords. I want to say she's a Loa, but please, if I pronounce things wrong, educate me. Don't come at me sideways. Just educate me. And her temple is the temple of lovers, and her element is fire. And it says Urzuli Dantor fought elbow to elbow with her people during the Haitian Revolution to protect mothers and children. She represents the healing of the Dark Mother. The HBIC, trying to tell you. Urzuli Dantor's guidance is, if it isn't wholehearted love, release it. Damn. Remember your worth. The embodiment is the energy cords binding you and someone you no longer wish to be attached to are strong. You must be willing to let go. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a person per se, but maybe it's something that really does not serve you. It could be a job, it could be a habit, it could be an addiction. But she says to close your eyes, see divine swords of God, goddesses, or sources, loving light separating you and dissolving the cords between you. You are both whole and healed. Just as you shower to cleanse physical grime, there's also a grime in the form of energy cords, also called karmic ribbons, emotional cords, or etheric cords. Spiritual maintenance is required. Her declaration says, I am worthy, compassionate, and whole. And something else I'm also seeing along with that is to any cord cutting or any severing, I always recommend to people to use black walnut and or wormwood baths. And so what I do, what I guide them to do, is to make a bath of it. Make a bath of it, of course, let that bath cool down. Then you're going to take a bath, and yes, it's going to be black. It's going to be black. And you may want to get a black candle, or white candles are universal. You might want to get 2 candles and a rope, and just visualize, it's all about intention. So maybe you want to do these things for yourself. Okay. And so we're going to move on past that. And so the next question I ask, or we're asking, is how can I physically anchor this mental or spiritual shift into my body and life? And you straight up got Angel's Trumpet, which is death. I see Pluto, I see Mars, and the song that's coming on, and I don't know if y'all know, but I curse, but the song that's coming, well, I said coming on, music be playing in my head, y'all. That's how me and at least one of my guys communicate, and the song that's coming through is It Ain't Nothing to Cut That Bitch Off. K Camp. If you don't know, if you need some motivation, I would do that. I would listen to that song while I'm doing me a little ritual, to be frank. So it ain't nothing to cut that bitch off. So cut it off. So, I mean, I feel like that's straight to the point, but I'll still read the guidance from the book. And Angel's Trumpet might be something that you infuse too, but I'm not that familiar with that herb. So I would look that up. Maybe you burn that with a candle if you don't take a bath with it yourself. But remember, any herbs that I ever give can be used and confused. Oh my God. I'm just looking at all of this. I'm sorry. So I didn't show you this card. Do you see the angel of death? I'm assuming she's the angel of death, and she's beautiful. I see this vampire bat. All of this symbolism. What else is that? A box of tools with the 5 major elements encircled in spirit, and crystal, a ritual. Do the damn ritual, y'all. So let's see what else it's saying. And so the light of angels' trumpets death is breakdown, breakdown, cathartic transformation, rising from the ashes, elimination, death, shedding the old. And in the shadow side, it's ignoring the call, mental and emotional crisis, illusion, shattered, refusing reality. And like I said, the astrological rulers of that is Pluto and Mars. And so I like to skip straight to the guidance because a lot of these things can be lengthy. And the guidance is saying, Angel's trumpet signals a time of catharsis or death. A deep emotional breakdown is due or near. You may feel lost in your own emotional despair, depression, shame, or unworthiness, but now the angels of discernment and darkness are here to support you. Coming eye to eye with the darkest feelings within yourself catalyzes the greatest awakening. Deeply pause, let go of control, and witness the broken pieces within yourself with loving awareness. The medicine of the bat symbolizes the need for ritualistic death of relations, situations, or aspects of life. Bat, like the angel's trumpet, signals catharsis and rebirth, signaling literal or metaphysical death of old patterns and worn out habits. Understand that you can reconstruct at any time, regardless of how shattered you might feel. And so, the final message that's also coming through with this is to remember that you always have the power, you are always in control, you have free will. This is your life. So make the decisions that are going to best serve you. So, and then maybe deserve wanted to come out because maybe you need to realize that somebody or something does not deserve you. But I digress. And so the last question I asked with our crystal deck is, what crystal energy is supporting my integration and embodiment of this new mental paradigm? And you got garnet, which is a root chakra crystal. Oh, and I lied to the people. I lied to myself about something. So this has something about earth chakra, root chakra. It has different chakras on it. And you got garnet. It has to do with your life's force. So something could be draining you too, and you need to recognize that. But the physical qualities is that it brings vitality, physical power, sexual energy, confidence, and grounding. It supports heart health and resistance to disease, releases blockages in arteries and veins to improve blood flow. And you can use to treat masculine sexuality, male reproductive systems, perineum, and anal region. The emotional qualities are that it instills confidence and protects from negative energy. It builds courage, provides a sense of security and safety. It supports one's ability to thrive in the everyday world. It helps quell feelings of overwhelm, greed, fear, and all fear based emotions. And it speaks, I am powerful and strong. So, the last thing I'm going to leave you with is a journal prompt. Is if my thoughts shaped a garden, what would be thriving and what would need pruning? So sit with that. And if this resonated and you're craving deeper clarity, connection, or confirmation, readings are always open at queendaddysaturn.com. Whether you're walking through change or anchoring your truth, I'm here when you're ready. Stay rooted, stay crowned, and keep trusting Source in the cards. I'm Ayafa, and this is The Cards Made Me Do It. Thank you. Alafia and welcome. This is the card spread for the Diamonds Collective for this new moon in Taurus on a Seven of Clubs day. We are asking for questions of our regular playing card deck. And this might mean something for y'all. So I'll see the Two of Hearts. So we'll see if it pops out for you. But the first question I'm asking of our guides, my guides to help for the collective, is what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my current reality? second question is, where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? The third question is, what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me now? And the fourth is, what internal structure or boundary needs to shift so that I can think more freely? We are using 3 oracle decks. I do like to use the pop out method, so sometimes we have to be a little bit more patient. But I figured out with me asking the questions first, they would just go ahead and just pop the cards out. So, first question is, what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my current reality? And it might be, and so you got the semi-fixed, which is funny. You got the semi-fixed Ace of Clubs, which the karma card to that is the Two of Hearts. And it's this transformation card. So that's interesting. It's semi-fixed. It only switches spots with that card in the mundane spread every once in a while. I can't remember if it's yearly or every couple of years, so I didn't want to lie. But that's interesting. And so might be a new goal, new question, new curiosity. It's definitely a thirst for knowledge. Maybe you've stumbled across something that might change your life for the better. So yeah. On the shadow side of that, because I feel like I should say it, you want to be careful that it's not you becoming obsessed with a person leading to stalking and violating people's boundaries. So I will say that too. Okay. So our second question is, where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? And you got the 3 of Clubs, which is actually the card of uncertainty and belief. So maybe this new information that you stumbled upon could be something that's causing you to question your beliefs. It's also the card of worry and anxiety. So maybe you need to find some grounding techniques. That could be meditation. If meditation doesn't work for you, actually, there are different forms of meditation. Don't let the people fool you and make you think that being still is the only form of meditation. You can color, you can do walking meditations, you can when people cook, like I know when I cook, I can't stand being interrupted because I figured out it's something that I'm meditating and doing. I realize I meditate. I'm a nail tech right now full time, and I realize I meditate when I'm doing my clients sometimes because I create a spa setting where we can all relax. And sometimes I don't want to be talking to them. Just let me do my work, especially when I'm scrubbing feet. But I digress. But there are different forms of meditation, so don't feel like, I think you should work that out, especially if you're somebody that's struggling with anxiety and worrying about things. And so the transformation card for that 3 of Clubs is the 4 of Hearts, which connects us to home and our roots and our ancestors. And the karma cards to it are the card of financial mastery, the King of Diamonds, and financial and emotional roller coasters, the 5 of Diamonds. So definitely find something that helps you to ground. So maybe they want me to ask this question before they give me the cards. What innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me right now? This is for the Diamonds Collective. I made sure to pull my cards first or do my reading first so that I would not taint the collective's readings. But even just looking at those 2 things. So thank you, Spirit Guides, for coming through with these messages. Sometimes the pop out method requires a little bit of patience, which sometimes I have none. Okay. Yeah. Let me flip that over because I do write on my cards, but they help to trigger other things that come through. But you're very cerebral, and I was already thinking that before that card popped up, so I didn't want to lose that thought. You're very cerebral because club cards have already come out. So I'm going to pick the one on top. Let me see if this has anything to do with anything. I'm going to leave this out here because it popped out. I'm just going to say that's for the fourth question. And so we are using the Oracle deck. I don't remember if I said that. 3 Oracle decks as well, along with this reading. So the third question I asked is, what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me now? You actually got the God card. Interesting. What comes to mind is making sure that your mental health is in check, number one. It can also be a card of being being overly perfect, being of perfectionism, but it's also the card of leadership. So maybe, and this is also a fixed card. I mean, for you already got a semi-fixed and a fixed card. So that leads me to believe you could be fixated on a goal or something right now. So with that, sorry, I need a drink of water. With that, I would say, well, I already talked to you about grounding, but maybe you want to intentionally ground and connect with spirit. Yeah, maybe you want to ground intentionally and connect with spirit, but definitely, I think I'm going to pull that card that popped, yes, because it keeps popping to the top. So we're going to do that. Yeah. So taking charge of something, but also making sure your mental health is in check. You need to be grounding. Grounding could have to do with speaking to somebody. If it's not a mental health therapist, it could be a coach or something. Maybe you have a coach or coaches to help you ground into reality. Okay. And so what internal structure or boundary needs to shift so I can think more freely? And this might be something that's causing you to question your values, because you got the Queen of Diamonds, intuitive values, and you got the Two of Diamonds. Did I say that? The Queen of Diamonds, which is the card of intuitive values, and the Two of Diamonds, which is the Lord of Compromise. So maybe you need to compromise with something that also has to do with meditation. So I did say that. And then the Two of Diamonds also has to do with coaching as well. It also has to do with partnerships and things like that. But maybe, like I said, you need to connect with a coaching, shameless plug. I'm not offering it yet, so it wouldn't necessarily be me, but I do plan on putting consultations on the website soon. But maybe you need to find yourself a coach with whatever this is. Maybe you're looking for an impartial person. I'm thinking like a mediator, and that definitely holds true because the Two of Diamonds is also the karma card for the Six of Clubs, which is the card of the mediator. And the Five of Spades transforms. Well, that has nothing to do with it, so let me not say that. But maybe you do need a mediator so you can get your mind right, or a coach or a therapist or somebody to help you get your mind right. So whatever you do, because I don't want you to be mad. Don't shoot the messenger. With that intuitive values card, you're gonna want to be careful of using shopping as your therapy. That's what you don't want to do. Because I don't think, because the Queen of Diamonds karma cards is Nine of Diamonds, the card of disappointment values, and the Three of Diamonds. So yeah, you want to be mindful of that. So the decks that we're using for the oracle decks are the African Goddess Rising. I feel like I can't talk now. Um, the Herbal Astrology Oracle, and then this chakra. I always forget what it's called. I want to say it's Crystal Healing. God only knows, but it's a dope deck that combines the crystals with the chakras that they probably most aligned to. But at least in this case, spirit will always guide you to what's meant for you. And then, of course, you take what resonates and leave the rest. So, the first question I asked with the African Goddess Rising deck is, what is the hidden value or truth I've been underestimating within myself? And you got Yemaya, Yemonja, which is, did you get 2 cards? No, I'm seeing stuff. I think Spirit wants me to pick another card from that deck. So I saw 2 cards, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick 2 cards. But you got Yemaya, which has to do with awakening. She is the mother of all. Call her the mother of fishes, but the mother of all. And what comes to mind, and the card is beautiful. I'm gonna show you the cards. Maybe you're about to birth something. Because it looks like in this card, she's in this. She looks like she's having joy. There are dolphins surrounding her. And I don't know if you know the science, but dolphins can actually, ooh, okay. I'm scared of y'all. Dolphins can actually, maybe you're about to give birth. I don't know. Maybe you're panicking and you need a little bit of help. Maybe you need a doula or something. That could also be something. And it doesn't just have to be physical birth. Maybe you're trying to birth something. Maybe you need some type of a doula. Like, I'm also a full life doula. I don't really advertise it because I feel like that type of work is really of me being of service. And so I really just am guided to whoever it is I'm meant to be guided to when I'm guided to them. But yeah, maybe you're about to birth something. And the other card that came out is Mamba Jumbo, which actually says shine. Okay, this is dope. But yeah, my eyes is awakening. Mama Jumbo's is shine. And I will read from the books when I am able. And so these decks, honey, these cards are heavy. And so I'll come back to that question. And so the next question is, how can I physically anchor this mental or spiritual shift into my body and life? And that was from the Herbal Astrology Oracle. And that is Pau de Arco, which has to do with metamorphosis. So allowing things to die so that something can be rebirthed. Maybe doing away with something so that something better can come in its place. So that's what comes to mind with that. Yeah. I'm going to pick this one. What's up? I'm going to give you both of these because diamond's always extra, man. No shade, all light. All right, so let's jump back to the other question so I can keep in order. So what is the hidden value of truth I've been underestimating within myself? So let's get to Yamaya. And she is number 40, which reduces to a 4, which does have to do with the ancestors and home. And that, I don't know what I was looking up because that wasn't it. The page before. And so Yemaya is the goddess of awakening in the Yoruba Nigerian pantheon, or the Orisha, honestly, but I digress. She's of the temple of high priestesses, and her element is water. Goddess Yemaya controls the ocean, the amniotic fluid that nurtures us before we know ourselves. Did I finish my thought about the dolphins? I'm sorry if I didn't, but Dolphins are really dope because I've seen some videos where they've actually come and surround a woman in labor, and they send sonar and they actually help to eliminate the pain of birth in our body. But I'm sorry, I had to finish that thought. So, the healing, loving energy of this Yoruba mother, Orisha, never leaves you. Her guidance is to wake up, awaken now to your true self. Are those tears of joy or sorrow? Let them out. Yamaya swallows your tears. And so her embodiment speaks, you are vibrating at a higher frequency, so you see everything differently. This is Goddess rising. You are waking up. And once you have experienced awakening, you can never go back not knowing it. The path of awakening is not straight, comfortable, or easy. You have chosen to lift the veil and have a real relationship with the divine. You didn't come to transcend this world while you're living in it. You came to dig into the soil, plant yourself, and grow. This ascension is your divine purpose. And so her declaration is, I am receiving and radiating love. That's really beautiful. And so you also got Mama Jumbo. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, educate me. Don't be rude, because I can get rude back, but I digress. And I realize I'm not showing y'all these cards. I'm sorry. For those of you on YouTube. So that was Jeremiah. This is Mama Jumbo. And she literally has light in her hand. And she has the stance of, she's that. She's that. So your God self is showing up because you did get the God card and all of that good stuff. So yeah. 32 has to do with changes too, as it reduces to a 5 as well. And so she is the goddess of shine of Guinea-Bissau. Her temple is of the griots and the elements is of the bush. Mama Jumbo glitters as a guardian of the lush green forest of Guinea-Bissau. If her name sounds familiar, it's because Mama Jumbo's name was misconstrued by colonizers and replaced with the term Mumbo Jumbo. Oh, wow, meaning gibberish. Still, she shines. You were born to shine. Her guidance says this. You were born to shine. Be seen, be heard, be a movement. We need to know your name. We want to learn your dance. The embodiment is daring to rise and shine, starts with the courage to be seen and heard. Your story matters and someone needs to hear it. Fear shining brightly keeps you in the shadows, hiding and shrinking. There is no way to claim your voice and avoid rejection, criticism, and judgment. But you are not for everybody. And I'm going to repeat that. You are not for everybody. And then Kendrick Lamar's in my head. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. If everyone likes you, you are not really being you. Ashe, that's a whole motherfucking word. And her declaration states, I am ready to be seen and heard. And to that we say Ashe. So I decided I wanted to start doing crystal guidances because you can either get these crystals, you can download a picture of the crystal and meditate with it. It's like a companion through this transit and through this energy. But I asked what crystal energy is supporting my integration and embodiment. Sorry, I keep kicking the damn camera. Of this new mental paradigm. And you got a third eye crystal and a third eye chakra crystal and a sky chakra crystal, which is I done skipped over something, but I'm gonna get back to that because I felt like metamorphosis spoke for itself, but I'll get back to that. Which is blue sodalite and white howlite. And so blue sodalite supports healing with mental disorders, calms panic attacks and mania, cools fevers, treats calcium deficiencies, addresses metabolic imbalance, digestive disorders, and issues with the throat and vocal cords, supports potassium and sodium absorption. Emotional qualities, it combines energy from the earth with the third eye awareness for grounding, for grounded psychic, mental, and emotional wisdom. It enhances rationality and deep thought. It provides an emotional anchor and supports one's ability to live authentically. It states, I am one with the earth and sky. And you also got white howlite, which speaks to structure. I'm sorry, I don't know if I said blue sodalite was grounded intuition, but white howlite speaks to structure, and it opens the sky chakra to white light healing, strengthens and heals core physical structure, knits bone fractures, heals bones, tendons, teeth, fingernails, and toenails, supports calcium absorption, slows bone degeneration. Did I say that you were birthing something? This will be a good crystal to have on you if you are having a baby, developing a baby, because of how much it pulls from your bones on top of taking your supplements, by the way. Um, and it slows bone degeneration. So sorry. The emotional qualities are that it's calming, cooling, and absorbs and clears negativity. It brings emotional balance, softens anger and emotional turmoil, quiets the mind, relieves insomnia, brings perspective, inner peace, patience, and soothing. It states, my mind is peaceful. And the funny thing about white howlite, you probably already have some if you have dyed turquoise, because they be lying and saying that a lot of turquoise is turquoise, but it's really dyed howlite. So you might already have your hands on this and you don't even know it. I'm gonna get back to the metamorphosis card. I feel like this came up in like the last reading. This is actually the card that came up for me. I don't want to show you a close up of it because her tatas are out and it has a whole uterus on it. And so God only knows what they get sensitive about on the tube. So, but the light is discovery through darkness, transcendence of the known, unearthing fear, nonconformity, and breaking cycles. The shadow is ignorance, conventionality, fear of failure, resisting growth, stuck in limited beliefs. The astrological ruler is the moon and Pluto. So the guidance says Lapacho or Pau de Arco is one of the great protectors of the sacred, and she is welcoming you in. Archetypally, Paul de Arco embodies one of the faces of the dark goddess in her mighty splendor. The dark goddess is multifaceted, challenging belief systems, frailties, weaknesses, and testing our strength. Like Pluto, Lapacho demands you rebel against ignorance of the old self and learn paradigms that inhibit the splendor of your self expression. Her mighty darkness provides the tools to rebuild ourselves anew, triggering instant metamorphosis. Don't fear the unknown, nature of mystery. The cosmic womb, in its darkness, births all hidden potentials into existence. Trust and step in. You're being guided. And so the journal prompt I came up with is, if my thoughts shaped a garden, what would be thriving and what would need pruning? Sit with that. If this resonated and you're craving deeper clarity, connection, or confirmation, readings are open at queendaddysaturn.com. Whether you're walking through change or anchoring your truth, I'm here when you're ready. So remember, stay rooted, stay crowned, and keep trusting Source in the cards. I'm Ayafa, and this is The Cards Made Me Do It. Thank you. Alafia, this collective reading is for the Spades Collective. The first 4 cards are from the regular playing deck, and we're also using 3 oracle decks. So the first question I ask is, what belief or mental habit is quietly shaping my current reality? The second question is, where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? And number 3 is, what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through me now? Number 4 is, what internal structure or boundary needs to shift so I can think more freely? And so this, if you didn't already listen to it beforehand, this transit is a new moon in Venus, which is not Venus, Lord, but Taurus, which is Venetian ruled, on a 7 of clubs day. And so speaking over ourselves with value, speaking, things like that. Whew. So I like using the pop out method, and I ask that spirit pops out at least one card, but because I am pulling 4 regular playing cards, I'll take them all at once. But this method does require patience at time, at least for me. I do this so that I'm not overthinking about what pull to do. Oh Lord, I'm gonna mix them up. I'm not gonna think about that. See, I start overthinking and I try not to do that. So I like the pop outs because I like to truly feel like spirit, or know that spirit is connecting with us. So what do the Spades Connect Collective need to know? What belief or mental habit is quietly shaping the Spades Collective current reality? I'll take that as 1 and 2. Y'all always going through some form of a spiritual initiation. So what y'all got is the card of the spiritual initiate, the Jack of Spades, which speaks for itself. It minds you, and especially with the 7 of clubs being this moon's focus, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It minds you to be mindful of your words. Oh, and it also has the 7 of clubs as a karma card. So definitely mindful of your words. Be wary of being a liar and a thief. Be mindful of manipulation, because remember, what you put out there does come back to you. But this person can also be very creative. And it might, all right, we'll take them. Okay, this is dope. Okay, so yeah, be mindful of those things. So the second question is, where am I being invited to ground myself deeper before leaping forward? And you got the card of communication, the 2 of clubs, which, I feel like it speaks for itself. It could be the card of friendship. You got 2 fighting energies coming up in here, so maybe you need to be mindful of some stuff. I had a dream last night in which spirit was basically saying to not fight about stuff, but be prepared, especially in the climate that we're in now. And I say you have some fight energy coming up because a Jack of Spades transforms into a 3 of Spades, which is one of the cards of war. And fighting can be debate, fighting, and all of that stuff can also be encompassed in the 2 of clubs, which actually transform to the King of Spades, which can do with the worst result of fights. So just be mindful of that. And it also has the Ace of Spades as a transformation card, which is one of the cards of death. But, doesn't always have to be a physical death. It could be the death of things that you need to transform, And so what innovative idea, message, or intuitive download is asking to come through? Spirit is asking you to know that you are grounded, you are safe, you are protected, you are loved. That's short, plain, and simple. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much more clear I can get with that. Number 4, what internal structure or boundary needs to shift so that I can think more freely? And you actually got the 8 of Diamonds, which is the crown of success. It sits at the top of the mundane spread, smack down in the middle, the crown of the entire spread. So don't let nobody knock you off of your crown, knock you off your throne. Um, it's the card of success after hard work. Back to that fighting, I will say most 8s are bullies. They just have different ways of doing it. They all have different ways of doing it. That's just they all bullies. I don't care. Try to come for me if you want. I will prove myself right every time. What else? Maybe you're trying to buy a house or something. Oh, because this is the other karma card to the 7 of Clubs. Yeah, maybe you're trying to buy a house or something too. It also be about maintaining. It's the card of real estate, obtaining a loan, and all of that good stuff, and maybe not debating so much over it, knowing that you're gonna get whatever is meant for you. Yeah. Just keep a level head. That's what it seems like. You're being tested. You're in a testing ground with whatever it is. It doesn't have to specifically be that. That could just be for a select few. But you definitely have to keep a level head. Be careful what you speak into the universe and stay grounded. So I'm using the African Goddess Rising deck, the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck, and the a crystal deck. I always forget the name of this deck, but it's really dope because it aligns crystals with chakras, which is really dope. So the first question I ask is, what is the hidden value or truth I've been underestimating within myself, from the African Goddess Rising deck? And you got Mami Wata, which it says naked on there. So we'll get to what that means in a moment. It says naked on there. Is she naked? Can I show you? All right, good. Her nips are covered. So it's a really dope card. If you can see that, she, of course, I always notice when these cards have Saturn in it. She has a Saturnian structure. So that makes me think of getting what's yours in due time. Make sure you pass this test and you will be rewarded greatly, whatever this test may be. Also has a crocodile in the background, some other planets. I know that's Neptune. I can't tell what this one planet is. So we'll go ahead and just go to the book and get her guidance. It's also a 3, which the 3rd house has to do with communication. So yeah, that is not the page I was supposed to be going to. Excuse me, and sorry. All right, Temple of Griots, goddess of emotional nakedness and of the diaspora. Element is water. Mami Wata and her sisters live in the Ikpoba River in Benin City, Nigeria. But the ancient mermaid goddess is her own global pantheon. Mami Wata influences emotions and gifts her followers with clairvoyance and healing powers. Her guidance is hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. Being emotionally naked means being vulnerable enough for the real you to shine through. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Practice being transparent. Start with the people closest to you. Say, I haven't been showing you the whole me, but I am starting today. I have the courage to feel and express have the courage to feel and express your feelings without people pleasing. Speak your truth, share your story, cultivate an appreciation for vulnerability in others, become comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and making others uncomfortable. Her declaration is, I have the courage to be vulnerable. And so the next question I ask is, how can I physically anchor this mental or spiritual shift into my body and life? And you got comfrey, which I'm going to call it Saturnian as well, because I see the sea goat. It has to do with cat. Oh, and it has Saturn on it. Duh. So let's just jump into that. And comfrey is completion. So I know I spoke to a two of spades who just decided to finalize her retirement, and she will be complete by the end of this transit. So by the full moon, she'll be retired, which is really dope. Comfrey. Come on now. All right. In the light, it's achievement, completion of a cycle, success, closure, completion of a long journey, wholeness, mending. The shadow is making the same mistakes, lack of closure, feeling incomplete, and emptiness. The guidance is comfrey represents wholeness, completion, and closure of a great cycle. The reef symbolizes a cycle containing the energy of the past, present, and future, hovering over the clouds to note how the foundation of all cycles are grounded in mystery. Comfrey majestically grows in the center, representing the axis mundi, the sacred heart, the sacred will that pulses with the great mystery. Comfrey has appeared today to signal that a great cycle is nearing completion. Stay aligned as you continue to prune and heal the garden of the self. Oh, that goes with our journal prompt. Look closely into repeated patterns, persons, or situations that keep showing up in your life. Draw upon Comfrey's power to mend and find wholeness in lessons and patterns that need closure. That's really dope. And so I decided I want to start picking crystal companions to help through these shifts and everything. So with this one, you got a third eye crystal, which is celestite, which is the angelic crystal. And you could always, if you can't get access to the crystal, you could always download a photo of it and work with it that way. And the physical qualities is that it calms fevers and pain, relieves headaches, jaw tension, earaches, eye strain, and scalp issues. It supports health in teeth, bones, muscles, ligaments, and other soft tissues. It helps knit broken bones, treat lung issues such as pneumonia, colds, and respiratory problems. Oh, that's dope. I got some. Excuse me. A little bit of a release there. The emotional qualities creates a connection to the angelic, psychic, and astral realms to bring blissful happiness, delight, joy, inspiration, and peace. It soothes anger and depression, elevates the mind and spirit. It facilitates astral and other out-of-body experiences. It speaks, my heart is filled with angelic bliss. And ashe, with that, we are complete. So the journal prompt I asked, or I'm giving, is, if my thoughts shaped a garden, what would be thriving and what would need pruning? And so if this resonated with you and you're craving deeper clarity, connection, or confirmation, appointments are always open at queendaddysaturn.com. Whether you're walking through change or anchoring your truth, I'm here when you're ready. Remember to stay rooted, stay crowned, and keep trusting Source and keep trusting the cards. I'm Ayafa, and this is The Cards Made Me Do It. Peace. Thank you for joining me on The Cards Made Me Do It. Remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you found value in today's journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay in tune with the cosmos and let the cards illuminate your path. Until next time, embrace the magic within and around you. Peace.